Alright, I'm back with another media review, and what I wanted to talk about today is a painting actually, which was made by an Italian painter called Domenico Induno. This guy was a 19th century painter from Italy, more specifically he was from Milan, and he was kind of well known at first for doing these biblical kind of scenes which he painted, but he later pivoted towards something which was more important contemporarily, because during the 19th century there was this great kind of movement to pretty much gain independence within Italy, which back then was split up into multiple states. I will get into the history of that in a little bit. So the painting which we are talking about today is called The Return of the Wounded Soldier, which was painted in 1854 with oil paints on canvas. And this painting kind of depicts this quite rustic looking scene of an interior of a pretty rough looking house, which was kind of usual during the time. And we can see in this picture that there is most strikingly the soldier sitting in a chair, looking with this kind of half defeated but also kind of angry expression, next to his bed with what I assume to be his family. Maybe it's his wife and her daughter or something like that, as well as the main source of light in the painting, which is the window, the one window in this house, which kind of has this nice contrast because the window shows the blue sky and the rest of the interior is mostly painted with very warm colors. So there's a nice little contrast in there, which I really enjoy. The soldier has this kind of strap around his arm because he is wounded, and in his other non-injured hand he's holding a paper which is speculated to be the letter of discharge from the military. What we can basically gather from his defeated look is that he actually wanted to be a soldier, but he was discharged because of his wounds. So that's pretty much the central conflict of this painting. Probably the most striking thing about this painting is the soldier's very vibrant red tunic, which is very much in contrast with the otherwise muted colors of this image. We do not see much vibrant saturated colors, his tunic being pretty much the focus, which the viewer's eye is drawn to at first. Other than that, Domenico Induno is very good at painting this kind of interior. This is not the only painting in which he does that, and I think you can see that especially in these little imperfections in the wall, these splatters of dirt, little cracks, or even on the stones on the ground. I think that subtlety really comes through quite well, and it depicts a very real kind of scene, which makes it very easy to kind of get into with this painting. To get into the kind of history of this painting, which I sort of touched on earlier a little bit, it is important to mention that Induno was very passionate about this spirit of independence which was coming up in Italy during the 19th century. This is called the Risorgimento, which kind of means like resurgence or rebirth. And the first real uprising of this movement was the 5 Days of Milan, or so it was called, which was an uprising within Milan, which Induno actually took part in, and it was actually successful. However, there were subsequent reprisals which forced Domenico Induno to pretty much flee into a little Swiss town. So he was subsequently exiled, and this painting which we are taking a look at here is I think pretty emblematic of his state of mind probably at the time, because, which we touched on a little earlier, this soldier which is depicted seems to be very defeated about the fact that he cannot fight for the cause which he is passionate about because of this wound that he has received. And that's pretty much a direct parallel to Domenico Induno's kind of inability to fight for the independence of Italy because of these reprisals which forced him into exile. So that conflict which we touched on earlier kind of is representative of his own state of mind at the time. And I think that this painting is not only quite meaningful because of Induno's personal experience at the time, which this is pretty much a metaphor for, but also because it's just visually quite stunning the way he, especially the way in which he painted the soldier's face. He really expresses the this turmoil pretty well, I think, because it's not only like sadness or defeat, but also this sort of rage, which when I looked at this painting, I was immediately reminded of the way Jack Nicholson looked in The Shining, you know, with his head down and his eyes forward like that. It's kind of menacing and gives this impression of kind of rage. And I think how he carries over that emotion towards the viewer within this painting is really masterfully done. And I think this, not only this painting, but also Domenico Induno himself is someone who deserves a bit more of a spotlight, I think, because I've really not heard much about this guy, like, at all. So this is just an amazing example of these kind of less known or less talked about painters, which sometimes put out some of really some great stunning artworks. And I guess that's kind of it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little dive into this painting. If you want to see more content like this, I would really appreciate it if you left maybe a like or a comment. But yeah, that's it.